Meghan has a big machine around her in the form of Netflix. She's also had, a big TV show in which to launch her product line. So it's very different to an individual.
When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped back from royal duties in the year 2020, the world was fed a carefully crafted narrative about freedom, independence and peace of mind. But behind the glitzy interviews and PR spin was something much darker.
Just starting making jam at their kitchen table.
And Netflix is the big one there, because that is the other element that I was going to raise. I'm glad you have, because do you think that these decisions are largely coming from Team Meghan, or do you think that Netflix would be a driving force behind the way that this is rolling out?
Well, again, we don't really know the structure of this business deal, do we? And whether Netflix are a more silent partner in the as ever business, but it is, in collaboration with Love Meghan, because we see her making the products on With Love Meghan, and then you can buy them. Netflix have got this range of stores coming out where you can go and buy things that you've seen on shows on the streaming platform. But it is very different to a one-woman band trying to get a product from her kitchen table to scale. Yeah. She does talk about the problems of that, but I think she has a lot of opportunity there.
I sort of agree with you, Sarah, except you've got to remember that when she first started, what was it, Riviera America?
American Riviera Orchard.
American Riviera. So they've had
R.I.P.
So that's gone.
Tonight, we're peeling back the layers to reveal the real story behind their royal exit, the hidden tensions, bitter fights, and explosive secrets that led to their escape from the palace.
Yeah, exactly. It's very rich Americans.
The issue is it doesn't seem that strategic, though, when it does change a lot, and the public perception is that it does appear a little chaotic. And further to that, Meghan's had a few projects now that haven't survived long past their infancy or season one, as was the case with her first podcast. Do you think that she really needs to be careful now to show that she's committing to this long term, and that's a reputational issue?
I don't think that she bothers about that much about that. As far as she's concerned, she's there. I've got no objections to Meghan and Harry making money, none whatsoever. However they want to operate now is fine. It's their royal connections that really irritate me, and they're piggybacking off that a great deal. But I think Meghan is the one who's driving everything, and I think she will eventually come a cropper with all this. I mean, she says, "I don't want to annoy the public." Well, why not? She's annoyed everybody else. She is a very annoying person, in my view.
But I do agree with Charles that it is in everyone's interest if she is able to make a success of this and make money off the back of this, because we know they've got a very expensive lifestyle, not least the security costs, and Prince Harry just having lost that Court of Appeal case. It is in everyone's interest, the royal family included, if they are able to be self-sufficient, if they're able to build a life. Prince Harry can do his philanthropy, Meghan can launch the business. Well, I think that suits everybody.
And if 5 years on from Megxit, they wanted the financial independence. So exactly as you say, this is hopefully what's going to happen with this business. And moving on now to this bonus episode itself with Tina Knowles, it was a bit of a departure from earlier episodes in that it had a lot more showbiz flair to it. Of course, it's Beyonce's mum. Do we think that this is what we're going to see more of moving forward with Meghan's podcast, or do you think that this was just going out with a bang?
This is the dark truth about why Meghan and Harry really left royal life. The Sussexes said it was about mental health, the press, and wanting to carve out their own path. But insiders, from palace aides to royal biographers, tell a completely different story.
I think that's what Lemonader will be hoping for if there's a second series. And, of course, we don't know yet whether there is going to be a second series. But this was a bonus episode. The series had come to an end, and then we got this announcement that there was going to be this extra episode featuring, what did she call her? The mom...
The matriarch.
The matriarch and the mom mogul, I think she called Tina Knowles. And she made it very clear that Tina Knowles had picked up the phone to her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, I picked up on that.
Yes, and that you don't turn down a call like that. You pick up the phone and then you do this episode. Actually, I thought this was one of the most interesting episodes in the series because Tina Knowles has a really, really that time. And I thought, oh, wow, OK. Because, you're talking to someone who is no longer speaking to her father and whose husband is no longer speaking to his father, and a lot of time is passing.
It really stood out because she used the phrase wasted time, and Meghan agreed and said, yes, it's wasted time.
Yes.
And at the end of that sentence, you think, surely, exactly as you've said, it felt pointed. Surely she had that reflection of, well, there's a lot of people around in our lives.
The thing about Tina Knowles is, she's a very, very successful businesswoman, but it's her background, coming up in Texas when she was very young, where there was segregation and everything else. I mean, it is really fascinating story, and I'm hoping to get hold of the book that she's just done. And I think it was I don't know who rang who, whether it was Tina rang Meghan or Meghan rang Tina or whatever. Whoever it was, that was a very, very smart move to get someone like her on that podcast. To talk about a whole a variety of subjects. And I agree with Sarah. That put down of, I never let, you've got to...
From the beginning, Meghan reportedly clashed with palace staff, ignored protocol, and felt entitled to privileges that had to be earned. Harry, torn between loyalty to his family and devotion to his wife, slowly began to burn bridges. And, well, it was Meghan lighting the match.
Not have arguments within the family and everything else. I mean, that is a great put down. I bet she forgets that bit.
And I'm glad you touched on it then, because there have been reports previously that Meghan had struggled to get A-list names on her show and on the podcast. How important for her brand Meghan moving forward and away from the royal connection, how important is it for her to get those names involved in what she's doing?
I think it's very, very important. I mean, when you look at a company in the UK called Warburton's, which makes bread, and they've had Samuel L. Jackson, Robert De Niro, advertising their bread. Now, that is a lot of money. Now, she needs to get hold of A-list, really triple A-list celebrities on those podcasts to help sell that stuff that she's making.
And also people who want to be involved in their own right, not just because they're friends in Montecito with Meghan, because that has been my slight bugbear with this podcast. Sometimes you feel a bit excluded from the going on. I'd really love to see some of these guests being booked because they want to be a part of Meghan's podcast, because they believe in that brand.
The glossy PR machine may still be spinning, but cracks are showing. The dark truth behind Megxit isn't just about a royal couple breaking free. It's about betrayal, manipulation, and a once-beloved prince who may have been played like a pawn. This isn't the fairy tale we were promised. It's a royal drama with no happy ending in sight yet. Make sure to subscribe, and tap the notification bell, because the real story of Meghan and Harry's exit is only just beginning to unravel.